Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. We're going to take a look here at what the price is doing, what the price could be doing next, because Solana is forming a very interesting pattern that we can take a look at. After the impulsive move here to the upside early in the year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside in November, we obviously started a downtrend. In my view, we still are in this downtrend. Everything that we have seen so far does not show us an impulsive move to the upside that could take us out of this downtrend. You can see it very clearly by looking at how impulsive really the last few moves down were. You can just see that by looking at the price action in itself, looking at the depth or the strength of those red candles here. This is, by the way, the 4-hour chart from FTX, but you can see how strong the move down was. Consolidation. That is typically what you get when the price is pushing down. You get a consolidation. You're not getting back in an uptrend. There is no strong reaction. It's just a consolidation because probably here on the 4-hour, yeah, exactly, you were oversold. Oversold means you're basically below the 30 line on the RSI. It is, you can, depending on which time frame you use, it is more or less relevant on the 4-hour chart. Obviously, for the shorter time frames, it's quite relevant. Because if you get here on the overbought, I mean, you just need to bring your RSI up again. It doesn't mean the price will go up. It just means the price will consolidate a little bit. It can go up a little bit, but most likely will just consolidate. It might be that on the 4-hour chart you're oversold, on the daily you're not. But if it's oversold on the 4-hour, it just needs to retrace a little bit to the upside again. And then it was ready for another push down. And what we're doing here now is bring the RSI up again. You can see that. But looking at how strong the price came down, looking at how weak this uptrend is starting to be, it's not really something significant at the moment. We came down to the expected target level here at $130. This was my minimum target. I do expect still, because of how weak the price is actually moving up here, the price to come probably either to 130 once more, or ideally actually even more into the $100 level. That's what I think, before we can really finish off that correction. And that is because we've really only touched the minimum area. And looking at what Bitcoin is going to do, in my view, and again, I have to always relate it a little bit to Bitcoin as well, I would expect Bitcoin to make another major sell-off as well. And that could push Solana then really into here deeper areas like the $100 range. Yeah, so if we break 130, I'm quite confident that we're going to get to 100. Now, this is based on Fibonacci levels, which if you've been following me in my previous videos. These Fib levels are sitting between $56 and $130, between the 0.786 Fib level and the 0.5 Fib level, which is for a wave retracement of that type here, which is a larger wave 2. Absolutely typical, especially for altcoins. Now, in the next move up, so don't worry, even if the price is dropping further, there is end in sight. Even if we drop to $56, even if we do, but it wouldn't be a problem, not for me, just a question of perspective, of mindset, because after this, you're going to, and that nothing is guaranteed in these markets, but I'm very confident that we then in this area somewhere will see that reversal to the upside, and we can get to levels probably realistically between here the 200% Fibonacci extension and the 2.618 Fibonacci extension, and that is sitting between 518 to 680 US dollars. In my view, that would be the next major move up that we're going to see after we reverse here, and that could be really that rocket start that I've been talking about in the Bitcoin and Cardano videos as well, because this is the completion of a larger wave 1, and you're going to see your larger wave 2 here completed as well, and you're going to start a larger wave 3. So overall, I do expect here at the moment possibly a short-term price increases, maybe all the way up to that trend line again. That's what we did here in this wave B. I do expect the same for Ethereum at the moment, for Bitcoin as well. And I would expect it for Solana as well, that we are going to move a little bit higher here. We've got some sort of a pattern here which you can draw in various ways. That's a tricky bit with patterns, but we can identify here certainly one pattern that either way, it doesn't matter how you draw it, but it just shows that we are moving into an apex here. So we've got this ascending trend line here. We're currently moving up, but you also have a resistance line. And depending on which time frame you use, it gets more or less clear what kind of pattern it is. This looks more like an ascending wedge here with a slightly ascending trend line up there and an ascending trend line down there. Ascending wedge would rather be actually a bearish pattern, but I mean, we can see here definitely either way we can move here into the apex, and the apex would be with this pattern currently at around $156, and it would take place here. So the actual apex would be reached until the 19th of January. Now there's a different way of drawing this, and this is if we just disregard this one wick or this one candle, but we can take a look and have a touch point here, a touch point there, and a touch point there. And I always try to use the touch points with it. Well, the trend line with the most touch points. This gives me 3 touch points, even though this one is just a wick. But what this tells me is that this could also be a symmetrical triangle, would also be a continuation pattern, would also rather push down. But generally looking at what we're building here and the kind of the uptrend here and what Ethereum is doing, what Bitcoin is doing, that are pretty much leading the market. In my view, this is also going to move up, but that is speculation at this stage. Trading just by looking at patterns is, you normally don't trade until you see the breakout. So I don't really pay too much attention to patterns, but what is always important to look at is if there is if a price gets squeezed into an apex, which Solana does. So there will be a breakout either way. So if it breaks to the downside in this case, we can get an idea here of make a rough estimation of what the price target might be, take the height of that triangle, and then add it to a possible breakout point. So depending on when it's going to happen, that could really push us down once more to that $130 line if we break to the downside, or if we break to the upside, it could really push us to that $170 ascending trend line. Overall, I do expect lower prices, but it could be that we get a short-term price increase before we drop down. That would be in line with my expectation for Bitcoin as well. And the resistance line for this pattern at the moment is actually sitting at $153. So if we break out above that, you can get the next level, which would basically here be at around 170. And if we drop below 147, then you're probably going to get to 130. And then if we lose that $130 level, which is very closely to the 200-day moving average, by the way, then we are going to see probably here the $100. That is what I would expect. And one thing that is actually confirming that for me is here still that MACD on the weekly time frame, which is one of these indicators which just gives me an idea of the momentum of the price and can be used for buy and sell signals. And on the weekly, which is a very relevant time frame for that, it just had a bearish crossover here in November, and you still see these bars still going down, which means the selling pressure is still there. It has not decreased, and as long as that is in play and does not slow down, it is actually an indicator that we can expect further price decreases at the moment. But as you know, what I just told you, longer term, or even after that correction, I mean, that correction could play out over the next couple of months. Maybe end of March we can get out of this correction. Looking at how long this took from November till now, sort of we are pretty much halfway there. We're actually already there at the 0.618 Fib level at $130, but we could drop a little bit more. So maybe 1 or 2 more months of a correction, and then we could get out of here. But depending on how sometimes this works out, we could also get a month of sideways movement, and nobody can really predict that. How long something takes is very difficult to predict. It's more difficult to predict how long something takes compared to which areas of price are actually going to be reached, because you can use Fibonacci levels for that. But if it takes a year or a month to reach that, actually nobody can tell you. That is the difficult bit here. But yeah, that's my view here on Solana at the moment. Hope you liked the update about Solana. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and bye-bye.